Deze mededeling, gedateerd 17 september 1944, wordt gedaan op last van de geallieerde opperbevelhebber en is gericht tot de bevolking van Nederland. Ten eerste richt ik mij tot de bevolking van het zuidelijk deel van Nederland, ten zuiden van de Lek en de Rijn. Het ogenblik waarop gij zo lang hebt gewacht, is gekomen. Uw moed en discipline hebben sedert de eerste landingen in Normandië al hoogst belangrijke vruchten afgeworpen. En wij rekenen nu op u voor een laatste, uiterste krachtinspanning.
But I know we'll meet again.
Eindhoven is in de ban van de 70ste herdenking van de bevrijding van de stad in de Tweede Wereldoorlog. Speciaal voor deze gelegenheid zijn 5 veteranen te gast in Eindhoven om alle evenementen rondom de herdenking bij te wonen. Ze reden mee tijdens operatie Market Garden en in het Philipsstadion was gelegenheid om uitgebreid met ze te praten. Allemaal herinneren ze zich als de dag van gisteren dat ze Eindhoven in 1944 binnenreden.
When we came into the town, I was driving a Brim carrier, and it was the women and girls that came out to meet us and were dressed in orange. They were either wearing orange scarves, orange blouses, orange skirts, and several of them climbed into the carrier that I was driving at the time, and all the flowers that were thrown at us as we came through, and they kept asking us if the Prince of Orange was with us, Bernard. And we had to tell them, no, Bernard was still back in England. He wasn't with us then. And they were rather disappointed for some reason or other. But that was my most intense memory of Eindhoven.
Well, it began because we were fighting a war. We were frightened. That was the main thing. The second thing is we had a job to do. And the third thing was the most wonderful reception we received all the way through Holland. I remember a little village we went into, and it was deserted. Before this we had a big battle, and I was rather surprised that there was nobody meeting us, no civilians. And we left our vehicles and went down the road, 4 one side for the... And I noticed a movement from the left, and the door was opening, and a young boy was opening the door, and he said, "Are you English?" I said, "Yes, we're English." And he shut the door. I thought, well, that's strange. Then the door opened again, and a young lady was there. She said, "Are you an English soldier?" I said, "Yes." And she shut the door, which was strange still. And I walked down the road, and next minute we were surrounded by hundreds of civilians. Ladies, men, children, crying, thanking us, kissing us. I was kissed by more girls then than they'd been kissed by them. But I became worried when the men started kissing me. I thought, oh, that's enough. I don't want to be kissing men as well. I'll get myself talked about. No, it was wonderful to see how relieved these people were and the help they gave us, because if we'd have continued on our way, the enemy soldiers were already waiting for us, and they showed us shortcuts around them. Yeah, that was my... I said to my crew, I said, "This is just like coming home." It was just like coming home.
So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know.
My first combat was in D-Day in France. And of all times when we jumped, I broke my leg. And the reason I broke my leg was I was the last one out of the plane, and the plane was flying too fast and too low. They're supposed to slow down so you can jump. And when I jumped, I was the last one. The parachute opened, but it had a broken panel. You know, if you got more than 2 or 3 panels, you pull your reserve. And when I hit the ground, that's when I looked up. He jumped us too low and too fast. And of all times, I broke my leg right there and then. So I lasted 7 days in combat in France. Then they sent me back to the hospital. I recovered. Then I came to jump here in Holland. Mm-hmm.
And how old were you during the war 70 years ago?
I was 20 years of age and 6 months when I landed in Normandy.
And how was it for you to be so young in a war?
Oh, it's cowboys and Indians. Yeah, we couldn't get over here fast enough. And that's always the same with young soldiers. Nothing's going to happen. They're all going to live until you face the war, and then you find out it's not as good as you think it is.
Well, I'm afraid that we had grown old by that time, because I was 21 when I landed in Normandy on D-Day, and you weren't a teenager anymore. You were a man. You suddenly realised that your boyhood had gone, and you had to act as an adult because of everything that was going on, and there was so much death and destruction at the time, and some of it seemed to stick, but a lot of it you try to forget. And as a matter of fact, we did forget. It was only about 4 years ago, when I first came back to Normandy, that I suddenly realised everything that had happened through my younger life. Up until then, I hadn't thought about it, but coming back and seeing the gravestones and the comrades that had been killed, that you suddenly remembered, yes, there were difficult times in those days, and we were lucky to have escaped it all and to have lived through it, and to live up until this age now. I'm 91. It's marvellous.
And in what way did the war influence your life?
Well, I faced death for the first time. That wasn't very nice. It taught me to be self-sufficient, how to protect myself. As an infantryman, you live like an animal, and you take on an animal's instincts. You live in the ground. And if you don't do that, you have a good chance of being killed. You have to try to read what the enemy's got in for you, or where he would be, or where he might be. And it was difficult.
And if something happened, you just moved on, lad. We couldn't have done it if we'd stopped thinking about it too much, you know. I mean, we just moved on. And, you know, that was it. Bill got caught and he stopped one. And all right, off we go. We forget about Bill.
You didn't shoot the man. You shot the uniform, if you can understand what I'm trying to say. It could have been you, if you'd have had that uniform on. That was it. You didn't shoot the man. You see them, of course, when they were down there. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a funny feeling.
Verleent alle mogelijke hulp aan uw eigen verzetsgroepen. Geeft hun zo nodig onderdak, verbergt hen en geeft hun inlichtingen over de bewegingen en operaties van de vijand.
Do your memories come back now you're back in Eindhoven?
Oh yes, they do sometimes. Some of the memories come back. Yes, when we think about it, that the difficulties some of the people had here with coping with the bombing and the shelling that was going on, and we were having enough trouble, but it must have been terrible for the civilian people in Eindhoven and Veghel and Oostenrode at the time, because there was so much activity going on. And I think it's something that perhaps a lot of the old people will still remember, but it's all over now, and it's a good thing, really. We've had 70 years peace, and that's something that was perhaps worth all the effort.
Well, I've been coming back here with friends since 1980s. Not regularly, but since 2008 I've been coming regularly. And it's always the same. The people never change. They're always grateful for what we did. And we're always grateful that they think we did a good thing. Because I think we were more frightened than them at times.
I love it. This is my second home. I'm going to make it my second home because the people are real nice. When we were here, they treated me as if I were one of them, yeah. They would, for example, it was raining, we were cold, tired, and we knocked on the door to see, they would let us sleep in a small barn they had over there, and they say no. I said, no, you come in here. So they let us go into their house. They fed us, give us drinks and all that. They treated us like if we were one of the family, even though the Germans were all around, yeah.
Are you proud of your father?
I am so proud. I couldn't be prouder than anybody else. And just to know that he's the last living soul out of his unit makes me even prouder.
Now you are here in Eindhoven. What do you think about the city?
It's still a dream. We just got here yesterday, and Eindhoven is beautiful, and all you Dutch people are so nice. And just to know that my dad was here 70 years ago fighting, it's emotional because I can't imagine what he's going through because he's the one that lived it, and just to see everything change, and it's pretty neat. It's emotional.
I married in 1952, and about 12 months later, my Joan, my beautiful wife, she said to me, she said, I do wish you wouldn't watch television for war films. I said, well, what's wrong with that? She said, well, you talk and you sleep. I said, I don't talk. She said, you do. I said, well, tell me what to say. She said, I can't repeat it. She said, the language, I never thought you could use language like that. You were in a war, you were in a battle, and you relive it.
So it brought back your memories?
Yeah, so I didn't watch any more war films. I didn't realise it was still there with me. So it's gone away now, I hope.
Meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.